All right, welcome. So I've got about $300 left of free trial credits with Google Cloud. I've got about 24 hours left to spend them. I've had 3 months and I've tried to spend here and there, and I've ended up spending like a couple of dollars worth. Um, so let's just see how many I can spend before the time is up. So I'm just going to select getting some things set up in OBS here so I can see what I'm doing. And I guess I will share my screen with you after I close a few things. Close YouTube Studio. Let's get this on a page. All right. And we'll fade. All right. So now we're looking at my homepage here. Let's close Notion. So I have an OpenClaw system that I run at home, and I run it in Telegram, and I have 6 agents total. So Beatrice is my chief of staff. She is primarily the orchestrator. She's also the one that helps me organize my day. When we do staff meetings, she's the one that runs the staff meetings. And she's just my primary agent. She's the first one I designed. And so she's my bud. She's my main person. Next is Richard. Next in this Telegram list here is Richard. Richard is based off of Richard Hendricks from the show Silicon Valley. Also I should say Beatrice is based off of Beatrice from Dante's Paradiso. And she helps guide him toward paradise. She helps him see sort of the heavenly things that are already around him. She gives him a path forward, and then she leads him ascending up towards heaven, essentially. And what I wanted out of an agent was an agent that would help me see the things I need to do, put them in order, and then sort of elevate my mindset to being able to do them, being able to get them done. I'm dog sitting and she's chewing on a bone. She's a very hyper puppy, so glad she's just preoccupied at the moment. Anyway, that's Beatrice or Bice or Beatrice. And you see I have in this tab here the Beatrice system. I have generalized Beatrice. She's been so helpful for me. I think she'll be helpful for other people, especially creative solopreneurs like me, because I'm good at 2 things. I'm good at envisioning the big project that I want to do and everything that needs to be done to get it done. And I'm good at getting into a flow state on sort of a single task. But it's sort of the connection between those 2 things where I tend to drift or get overwhelmed. And so she helps me with that, because she helps me in that visioning stage pull everything down, turn it into an itinerary, and then just sort of hand me one task at a time. And so she sort of helps me with that middle there, which I appreciate. And another thing that Beatrice helps me with is, if you work on a project, let's say you have 100% of a project, right? And you do 1% of it today. Well, if you do that 99 more days, you'll have it done. But it's easy for someone like myself to look at that and look at the 99% that's left and go, well, I didn't do anything today. What did I do? I barely did anything. I've hardly put a dent in this project, and get very discouraged. And so another part of the Beatrice system is logging everything in Notion. So you can look back and say, oh, okay, here's the things that I did yesterday. And so that helps you track progress, so that you're not just like doing little things every day, but that you're actually moving projects forward. So you're not just churning, but you're actually sort of winning, getting some progress going. Or you can at least see that you're not doing that, and then you can decide, oh, I got to make some changes. And because it's powered by, I've designed it around ChatGPT, because that's what I designed it in. That's what a lot of people use. I suspect it would work basically the same in Claude or Gemini or Grok, with any LLM, sort of brain, in any LLM that has sort of a project-based system. But basically it's the chat and then the logging everything in Notion. And so again, as part of that, because she's reading those logs also, she's reading and writing if you have a Notion connector on your LLM. So ChatGPT has a Notion app, Claude has a Notion app. They both read and write to Notion. And so she will keep the logs for you, and she can read the logs and that sort of thing. And so that way, not only does it improve her memory over just general ChatGPT memory or sort of general Claude memory, but it also gives you very specific memories about what you're doing, and you get to see it too. It's a Notion there where you can look at it, you can edit it if you need to. But it helps you, again, sort of make progress on things day to day, and she can make observations. I remember the day when in the observations section of, our reflecting back on the day or the week, she said, you get a lot of stuff done during the day, but the things that you say are most important, you keep kicking to the next day. And it's like, I kind of know that I do that. You can feel that you're doing it when you do it, but when somebody puts it in plain text for you to see, you have to face it. You have to deal with it. You go, yeah, that's right. And so then it's a lot easier to say, okay, what habits do I need to change so that all this work that I'm doing, all these little things that I'm getting done, how can I take that energy and put it into the things that I actually care about? And some of these other little things, how can I just forget about them or delegate them or automate them in some way? So anyway, she's been very helpful to me. Beatrice has been helpful to me. I have made it a generalized system. It's $19 for now. I would like to sell it for $100. I think it's worth more than that. I know a lot of people are giving away skills and prompts and stuff for free, but I spent a lot of time on this, and I think it's worth at least $20 introductory. I can't guarantee it's going to work perfectly. I've got some people kind of beta testing it now. This is version 1.1. It's real super early. It's basically just a set of big prompts, but it's a lot. I mean, the user guide is like 93 pages, and but it's really easy to get started. You can get started in just a few seconds if you buy it and download it. You can get started with it. Like I said, with under 2 minutes. There's a short 1-page PDF that's got 3 steps how to get started, and then Beatrice will walk you through the rest of it. I do recommend that it's ChatGPT Plus or higher, or equivalent plan or higher. I've got a buddy who's got ChatGPT free, and he's given it the old college try, and it's just the limitations of the free plan are just haven't figured out how to get around them and still have the system work. But anyway, that's enough about that. So I have Beatrice on my OpenClaw system. So she runs here locally on my Mac Studio, and I communicate here in Telegram. So here's Beatrice as my top agent. I've got her pinned to the top. And then I've got 5 other agents that are part of my main team. So Richard is based off of Richard Hendricks from the show Silicon Valley. He's my lead developer. He heads up all of my, if we're doing OpenClaw updates or if we're doing any web page building or something like that. I've got this today dashboard that my OpenClaw has built for me. He's in charge of all that. If he's building I'm building an app, and so he's oh, and I did not mean to do that, but anyway, he is still doing things that I do not want to do, and I don't know how to undo it. So we're just going to minimize that. Okay, but anyway, he's building that. Andy is my financial guy. He's based off Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption. Colette is my nutritionist. She's based off of Colette Tattoo from Ratatouille. I love Beatrice is Italian, so she speaks a little Italian to me sometimes. Colette is French, so she speaks a little French to me sometimes, which is kind of fun. But I tell Colette what I'm eating and the supplements I'm taking and the exercise I'm doing. And she also is connected to some of my calendars, so she can see some of my sleep and my energy and these kinds of things. And so she sort of gives me advice throughout the day about what I need to eat next and when. She sends me reminders, hey, leave now to prepare dinner or whatever. So it's very cool. I'm still developing and trying to sort of harden up what we're doing, but she's already been very helpful in helping me change a lot of habits that are real important for protecting my sleep and protecting my energy. Alfred is, Alfred from Batman, Alfred Pennyworth, and he is just responsible for helping remember things around the house, mostly. 0x, the lovely, okay, thank you for licking me, has come to visit for a few weeks, and I was a little nervous about that, so I got together with Alfred and was like, what do I need to do to prepare the house for this dog? And so he's aware that she's here. He keeps giving me little reminders about the attention I need to give her and things like that. So that's been pretty cool. And then Don is Don Draper from Mad Men. He's my marketing guy. And So anytime I'm doing any marketing or any sort of searching the web for stuff, or building a plan of videos that I want to do, then I go to Don. Don and Richard actually have other sub agents under them that I don't speak to, that I don't have a Telegram channel, but they speak to them. And so all of Don's subagents are based off of characters from Mad Men. All of Richard's subagents are based off of characters from Silicon Valley. And each of those subagents sort of play the role that that character plays on the show. So under Don, there are characters for, dealing with clients and budgeting and artwork and copywriting. Under Richard, there's agents for architecture and security and UX, UI, aesthetics, client relations, whatever, right? And so documentation, things like that. So when I give Richard and Don a project, they turn around and internally discuss it with the team, and then come back. Could I do all of this in one single agent and get the same result? Maybe. But I have each of these agents sort of, I'm fine tuning them to be very specific and be good, and thinking about certain things, so that when we come together in staff meeting, Beatrice is looking at everything, but Colette is like, you must protect the sleep. She's really big on that. Nobody else really cares because that's not their area of expertise. But if she tells Beatrice will go, okay, we've got to plan this itinerary, but this is a big thing that we need to keep in mind. We still have things that we need to do, but we need to do this also. Same thing with Andy and money, right? Hey, we got to decrease the spend on this or whatever, right? So I could probably get the same if I just had one agent that I spoke to and just did everything. But this also helps me mentally sort of silo the things that I'm doing. I can go back and forth talking to the different agents and carry on 3 and 4 conversations at a time. While I'm waiting on one response from one, I can be crafting the response to another, and kind of bounce back and forth. So it helps me. And by giving them characters that I can immediately picture in my mind and think of and hear their voice, that also helps me sort of silo the ideas. Just sort of a little psychological trick for me. Um, do I get any better responses because of that? I don't know. People ask me that all the time, and I honestly don't know the answer to that. So, okay. So what I'm doing though is I have somewhere, here we go. I have this Google Cloud deal. Here's my console. I don't think this will give any secrets away by just going to maybe the dashboard. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not do that. But anyway, there used to be a banner up there that told me how many I have left. Oh, I think I can go to the billing. Let's see if I go to the billing. I'm in billing. Okay. Well, I thought I was. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. I don't think we're showing anything secret here. And going to credits. That's what I was going to go to. All right. So this shows that for these projects, I've got expiring in one day, $292.59. And it's from a free trial. The free trial was 3 months. Over the last 3 months, I've tried different times to like spend some of these credits. I do a lot of stuff with it, and it'd be like, you have spent 80 cents or whatever. I've done some voice things with it. I've tried some image and video generation stuff. Only really got successful with that a little bit today. Richard was taking some pictures of Beatrice that I made for the website there, and was making some videos for me using VO. And they're pretty cool looking. They look like AI, but they take the image that we started with, and it remains pretty true to that. It's got some nice motion on it. The color and everything looks pretty good. Kind of cool. I asked if he could do one 9x16 and have it essentially be 3 videos stitched together. And of course, the face doesn't look anything like the girl, so she looks like a different person every time she turns around. So there's some issues with it, but he basically used the last frame of one to right here. We passed it already. Right there. Stitch it to the next one so that we could get a full 24 seconds out of it. So not perfect at all, but very cool that he was able to do that on his own. I just said, hey, can you make a 24-second one by stitching some together? And he did it, got FFmpeg and stitched them together. So anyway, kind of cool. And I think each video spent $1 or less. So I'm just like, like, how can I spend this money? I don't even know how to spend it. I also saw once I got in here, I have a trial credit for Gen AI App Builder. I guess that's if I was building an app that used generative AI, where I have customers that are using the app and they're using the AI. I guess it's AI for them. I have like $1,000 of some kind of credit that for the next year. I'll worry about that later. Not going to use that. But this $292.59, would love to figure out some way to use it. So if you got any ideas, let me know. What I think I'm going to use it for is I've been writing a story. Let me go to that on my Substack, skidmore.substack.com, and it's called Stirring, and I haven't uploaded since the end of March. I've been dealing with a lot of technical stuff and haven't been writing, but I've got 4 chapters of it up, a prologue in chapters 1, 2, and 3. It's a short film that I have had in my head for a long time. And it's chapter 1. I was trying to see if there was any images of any kind. I think I just have, just that right there. I've made some little images of like some of the characters and things like that. I'm thinking like previs. I still would love to make it as a short film. I'm a filmmaker. It's a lot more fun to do it, to just do it, to just film stuff, to get on set, to have actors, to have costumes. It's also very expensive. It also takes a lot of planning. And because it's very expensive, you have to raise a lot of money. And because you have to raise a lot of money, you have to say how you're going to get that money back. And I would like to do that at some point. I've got the script done. I've had the script done for a long time. My friend Jason and I wrote it. It's a short film. For a long time, I would have said there's no way to make money back on a short film, but now I think you can do it. I think people are willing to watch pretty much anything, especially if it's like streaming and they're not having to pay extra for it. Unfortunately, streaming does not really pay enough money to be sustainable. So there's that. But I would like to do this as a short film, and I'm writing it in prose now, just because I do have some readers. I think some people would be interested in that. And I've got, let's see if we can find some of the artwork stuff that I've done. It's in Dropbox. Art department, maybe. Conceptual. Yeah, Skidmore AI. Here we go. So this is the main character, Joseph. This isn't exactly what I wanted to look like, but it was like the closest I could get when I was prompting stuff on whatever I think I was using Nano Banana or something. This is before I had these free credits to use. The guards would look kind of like this. These look a little too Russian, but the whole thing has a very Eastern European vibe. And these robots are a little too nice looking. I wanted my robots to look a little more homemade, but they're kind of clunky. They're okay. But this gives you the feel. This sort of gives you the feel of the story. It's cold. Everything's covered in snow. Everyone's being watched. The town is kind of bombed out looking. It's kind of been built up around these ruins. There's a character, Simon, and he works for the elite, the guards, but he's kind of a poor guy, I guess. And so, but he's friends with Joseph. Joseph is sort of a commoner, cog in the machine kind of guy. And Simon is sort of the bridge between those two worlds. And so Joseph and Simon are sort of conspiring on some things. Simon's a younger guy and smokes cigarettes a lot. So, I just have these 3 pictures. I generated some others and just didn't like them. Some of them are super AI looking like these. Some of these were done with Grok, some were done with ChatGPT, some were done with Gemini, some were done in one and then sent to another to improve and make more realistic. And so I think these that I actually ended up keeping are sort of a combination, or started in one and then made look realistic in Nano Banana. But anyway, so what I'm thinking is, can I put in, my OpenClaw has access to my computer, which on my computer we have, the script. I think I have the actual name. I guess it's this version 10. In fact, I'll just go ahead and just copy this name right now. And so, my OpenClaw can read the script and can see the whole what the whole movie is supposed to be. And I can tell Richard, hey, why don't you start cranking out images based on the script as you read it, and let me pick. So give them a name or something where I can say, okay, I like this one, but not that one, and this sort of thing. So I've got Richard over here. He's standing by. I was going to give him some notes on this Beatrice stuff, but we can come back and do that later. So let's click in here, and I wonder if I do this. Is that too big? Can you see that? The irony is I've made it so big now I can't see. Oh, yes, I see that it is huge. Okay, great. All right, so I've got Telegram up here, and let's just give Richard some commands. So we're gonna say, let's change course for a second. That lets him know we're not going to do more with that. We're going to do something new. I would like to spend as many of these Google Cloud credits as I can in the next 24 hours, because if we don't, they expire. There are 290, there's more than that, but we'll just say, let's just tell them 275. There's $275 left. So we can get a lot done. What I would like to spend them on is some pre-visualization of stirring as a film. The approved screenplay is in Dropbox. Stirring, O2 scripts, O2 PDF, and then the name of the thing. There we go. I also have some AI samples that are okay in '09 art department. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. This is why I have my folder set up this way. '09, '02, conceptual. In fact, I think you'll just search for that and find it. I do this for humans so that basically this Dropbox folder setup that I have over here, I started doing when Dropbox first came out. I had a friend that was like, hey, can we use Dropbox to sort of sync all of our film paperwork and stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he had some folders in there, and I was producing, so I wanted it to be organized like my big 5-inch D-ring binders that I used to use back in the day. And so I started putting in the order that I did everything in my binders. And so I still use this to this day. I used to have this as a free download on my website somewhere. I don't know if it's on there anymore. I can put it up if somebody's interested in it. Leave a note in the comments. But basically, it's just a bunch of empty folders. You just unzip it, and you have all these folders. So you top level folders, whatever the name of your movie is, and then you just dump all these empty folders in there, and you've got a setup good to go. You may have a better setup, but this has worked for me pretty good. So '09, '02 conceptual. And then it's the Skidmore AI. Yeah. Skidmore AI. There are 3 images there that I like. Okay, particularly the one of Simon. Ask me any questions you like before you begin. You can ask about inspiration or casting choices, etc. Or if you just want to hammer out some starting images to get us a direction. Boy, autocorrect does not work in Telegram for some reason. To get us a direction, that's fine too. All right, I'll shrink that back down. So this is how I talk to my OpenClaw. It's super, it's just very conversational. It's not great prompting, but it has worked for me, and they speak back to me the way I'm speaking to them. I find maybe this isn't true, but I think that this is true. The way you speak and the way you prompt sort of determines what you get back. So if you want a very professional result, then yeah, spend time crafting your prompt and get it all exactly and have it formatted nicely and have the you are this and here's the purpose and do all the textbook formatting stuff. If you want the thing to talk with you, then you need to talk to it, conversationally. Not because it's going to mimic you necessarily, but because the types of words you use and the way the order in which you have them is sort of going to send you into a certain part of the model. So if you use the word please, it's going to send you into like a two people talking to each other module, a part of the model, because you don't really see the word please like in a textbook or in a scientific abstract, and I want mine to speak and act like humans. And so I tend to say please a lot, not just to practice being polite, but also because I want it to go into sort of that more human conversation part of the model most of the time. When I have a very specific ask that is a very technical task that I need it to do or something like that, then I will try and speak in more technical language and things like that. But I've been talking with these agents enough that they understand what I want and have a sense of my taste and that sort of thing. So I just sort of talk to them or type to them, sort of train of thought, and I get what I get, and then we refine from there. So anyway, kind of a vague prompt, but we're going to send it and see what he does. So as soon as I send it, he begins typing. If you can see that, he's typing. So Richard is not actually typing, of course, but what he's doing is he's thinking. He's thinking about, what the answer is going to be. So he's taking this input that I just gave. He's also taking things that get, oh, you didn't see any of that, sorry. He's, so here he is typing. So what he's doing is he's taking this input that I just sent, and he is sending that to ChatGPT servers. He's also sending bootstrap type stuff that goes with every message turn. And you see here now he is thinking about it. So it's showing you what he's doing. He's searching Dropbox for that PDF. He's searching Dropbox for that folder, that picture. He's found a PDF file now, and he's going to read it like line by line, basically. That's probably going to take a while. So we may come back tomorrow and finish some of the rest of this. But now he's listing the folder. He's going to look at the conceptual art. He's looking in the media. Looks like he's found the folder maybe. Maybe he's still searching for the folder, still searching for the files. Oh, man. I got this coffee 3 hours ago, and I've had the lid open on this thing, and it is still like burning my tongue. Spill it all down myself. By the way, while we are waiting on Richard, I am a filmmaker and an author. And if you go to my site, parabolas.com, you will be greeted with this homepage here. This is a still from my film, The Darkness Rolled Over Her, which is based on my short story by the same name. And you can click there to learn more about the film. You can watch the 2-minute trailer. I might play it here in a minute if Richard continues to take a moment. It's also on my YouTube. You can find it there. Also, on the homepage, you can get quick links to my shop where you can buy some of my short stories, ebooks, links to Amazon paperbacks. I have one novel also, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, is a Cold War Christmas novel. I've got 2 of these. I've been Kindling and Chabella. I've done as audiobooks, which I produced and read. And they're a little more than an audiobook. There's like music and a little bit of sound effects and things. And they're kind of fun. Five Coffees in a Book is a way to read through The Darkness Rolled Over Her with a friend. The Darkness Rolled Over Her deals with someone who has decided to take her own life. And it's just a story about, these feelings of depression and darkness and the power of human connection, and how when we connect to other people and their stories, it can perhaps help us out of a dark place. So I think the best way to read the story is with someone else so that you can talk about some of those things. Five Coffees in a Book gives you a way to do that. It's a little mini book club, and it allows you to read the story for free. You can download the ebook for free. You can get the discussion guide for free. You don't have to know how to teach or lead a group or anything like that. You just go through the discussion guide. It does all the work for you. So it's no fear there. We also have merch like these Lucy shirts, which are from The Darkness Rolled Over Her. Deals with fly fishing, and so we've got the Lucy fly. The pie is our Parabolas sort of mascot. Five Coffees in the Book, coffee mugs. We've got lots of other things in the shop, so you can check out all of my films. I've got banners there. That's me and Noah. Noah's coming over tomorrow. He helps me with everything that I do, and he's doing a lot of the visual effects on The Darkness Rolled Over Her, and the stuff is looking pretty cool. But there's my films, including some short films, which you can watch right now. Sleepwalking, which you can pay to watch right now. My student film from college, Max, which I did not write or direct. My friend Jeff wrote and directed it. It's an excellent film. He did a great job with it. I was the producer. One of the last films I used a 5-inch D-ring binder on. You can also look at all of my books. God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, the novel, the short stories, Darkness Rolled Over Her, Kindling, and Ciao Bella. I also have some teachings on here. You can find these also on my YouTube. Just some different series. A lot of them are like YouTube shorts kind of things. I also have a podcast. I've been on other podcasts talking about mainly The Darkness Rolled Over Her, but sometimes talking about just writing or filmmaking or whatever. So that's under teaching. And then under more is my freelance stuff, because I do freelance film, video, marketing strategy, AV install stuff, just sort of a little bit of everything, consulting, AI consulting, that kind of stuff. So, and that's where you'll find the Beatrice system. So Beatrice that I use every day, you can get your own for $20, limited time. All right, Richard's provided a short answer. So he's still working. So you'll see it still says typing, which means thinking. But he says, I found the exact production PDF and read it. I also found the sample image folder in Dropbox, stirring Joseph, stirring Simon, and stirring guards. Simon will be the anchor reference for the first direction pass. I'm going to start with a practical first batch instead of burning credits blind. Character sheets, world location plates, key props, and a few major sequence frames. Then I'll scale the strongest families overnight and use video only for the best motion test candidates. And he's still working away. So that one little prompt that we gave him may be enough to keep him busy for a while. I've got a message from somebody else, so we're going to check that. I'm pretty sure that's Beatrice. Yep, I've got 4 messages from Beatrice. She was supposed to nudge me all day, and I haven't heard from her since 10:30 this morning. So I was like, what's up with that? Also, I had her text Noah. I'd never done that before. We did it one time right when we set it up just to see if it would work, and then we never used it again. But I was like, hey, text Noah and see when he's coming over tomorrow. And she texted him, and he responded, and she was like, okay, great. But then she never told me what he said. And then he asked her about it again tonight, and she was like, oh, yeah, I never did that. And then she still didn't do it. So anyway, she says he did reply. She gives me his reply. Okay, but apparently she's learned from it, so all is well. So we'll just give her a little heart as a treat. Okay, Richard is still typing, so we'll go back to Richard. We're not going to talk to Colette tonight because she will be mad, both that I'm drinking decaf still, because it does have a little bit of caffeine in it, and also that I'm still awake. I went to bed 2 hours ago, which is why some of the lights in my house are off right now. I'm just now realizing. So that's what we're doing. I'll go back and I'll show you some of the things once again that my OpenClaw system has made for me thus far, if you're interested. While we are waiting on Richard. So I go to my OpenClaw folder here. So OpenClaw runs in a hidden folder in your user folder on your computer. And it has complete access to your system via terminal and command lines. It mostly will only do things if you give it permission to do it. It mostly only has access to what you give it access to. But because it has command line access, it can do a lot of stuff. So if you ask for something, it will just do it most of the time. It's real good about not deleting things unless you specifically tell it to delete it. It'll just archive it or move it into a folder or something. Um, but you do have to be careful. It can torch your whole system. So I'm not recommending anyone get started with an OpenClaw system or anything like that. I love it. It's been working for me. But your mileage may vary. So you'll see all the agents that I have down here. Like I said, I have agents for my whole team. Richard is my lead developer. He's based off of Richard Hendricks from Silicon Valley, the show Silicon Valley. And we decided the best way for him to work and build things was to have his own team of agents. So we have agents for Big Head, for Dinesh, for Ehrlich, for Guilfoyle, for Jared, and for Monica. And these will all basically perform the same role that these characters kind of perform on the show. So Guilfoyle, that agent, is primarily responsible for system architecture and security, things like that. So let me show you again one of the apps that we're building while we're waiting on Richard to come up with a response of some kind here. We're building an app that's, there's no Blu-ray authoring app for Mac, and so just trying to make one. And not everybody buys Blu-rays, but I would like to be able to author a Blu-ray like I used to be able to do back in the days of DVD Studio Pro. And so I've just uploaded a short film that I did that had a little interview thing with it. And so we've got, where it'll play back the movie here. All right, so that's the interview with Jessica, the young lady that wrote the film. Here's the film, and we can play that back, and we can scrub through it. So that's in here. I can supposedly create some menus and stuff. I've got some images also that I've uploaded in here that I would like to be able to turn into some menus. So I can drag one of these images out and drag it over to the story map, and it turns it into a node. I don't really know how to change these connections and stuff yet, but these things move around and select stuff. I've got an inspector over here that is showing me whatever I click on, it's showing me the information of that. Okay, Richard's given us some more stuff here, so let's see what he has to say. He says, first Vertex batch is running cleanly now. Evidence so far, the runner has already completed Simon, Joseph, Katya, Zachariah, Guards Main Street, Opening Raid, and Factory Floor prompt families. 4 images each using Imagine 4 through the Beatrice Voice Google Cloud project. That's just the name of my Google Cloud project. You looking for that? Is that yours? Good girl. I'll send a contact sheet after this first pass finishes. Then I'll use the strongest stills as launch points for the motion tests. That's very cool. It is one thing that I like about the new ChatGPT, the 5.5 in particular. I hadn't used Claude much until this month. I started using it for a project, actually my Beatrice project this month. I started using it. I tried making a PDF in ChatGPT 5.5 and it looked terrible. I connected it to my Canva app and made it look even worse because I don't have Canva Pro, so we're only using like the free templates or whatever. It looked absolutely awful. So I went into Claude to have it design something, and it looked really good. But I ran out of usage like that on the free plan. So I got the $20 plan, ran out of usage like that. I was like, okay, for 1 month, I'm gonna get the big plan and see what I can get done. And I've still managed to run out of usage on the big plan, believe it or not. But I use Claude to take all of my notes about the Beatrice thing and put it into a 93-page user guide, beautifully formatted with a nice cover and like big section pages between all the sections. It made all the decisions. It picked all the colors. Everything. It looks fantastic. I'm a designer. Typically, I would want to really sort of micromanage all that stuff, but it came out. It looked great. I didn't have to spend any time on it. I'm like, that's fine. It's great. We'll use it. So it's very cool. As somebody who like gets paid for projects like that, I don't have as much freelance video stuff I can do anymore because you can one prompt. Agent like Richard will work on it all night. You wake up in the morning, you get the videos you need for your real estate or for your product. You're selling a tumbler or whatever. You just put some images in of the tumbler, and you wake up to your entire social media campaign for the month done. I get it. You know, I'm using it too, so I'm not super sad about it, but I do miss getting paid. But that's why we're using these free 300 credits the best we can. So Richard's hammering away on it. He's got the script. Oh, he just gave us a contact sheet. That's very cool. So let's look at it. He says, first pass is done. Let's zoom in here so you can see what he's saying very clearly. First pass is done. 64 stills across 16 screenplay-driven prompt families. This sheet is unlabeled because the local FFmpeg build can tile images but doesn't have text overlay support. The manifest has the exact file name prompt for every tile. Not worried about that. High signal early read. Simon, what are you doing? Sorry, I'm dog sitting in case you missed that earlier. Okay, high signal early read. Simon World Anchor is working. The toy room and Solstice robot imagery is promising. In a few frames, hallucinated tile text flags that I'll filter out before scaling. Okay, well, let's just take a look at this image here. Zoom back out. And all right, this is pretty cool. It's given us, so it looks like these first four are some variations on Simon working at his desk at the factory. It looks like four completely different people. That's fine. Are you okay? Do you need anything? She's just looking at me like, quit looking at me. This looks like, I guess, Simon in his bedroom, maybe. We'll have to go see if we can find the individual files here. We've got Simon fixing a camera, Simon sort of hanging out on a ladder. We've got Zechariah in the bath with the camera over the... This is not exactly what this is supposed to look like. So basically, they live in a world where there's like constant surveillance. There's cameras everywhere. And Joseph works in this factory, and there's a hidden room that he discovers that's been, essentially plastered over for maybe centuries. And inside there's this box full of toys, and he's never really seen a toy. There's no joy, there's no religion, there's no fairy tales. That's all sort of been beat out of the world that he's in. This is sort of a post-apocalyptic world. So, apocalypse happens, and you have the post-apocalypse, and then you have the society that is built on top of that. And so this is sort of Joseph and the world that he lives in, the village that he lives in. But he's really fascinated by this toy. He gives it to his young child. His young child begins playing with it immediately. But in order to hide from the cameras, because there's even cameras in the bathrooms, he runs the hot bath. The bath steams up, fogs up the camera briefly, and that gives them a few minutes to sort of play with the toys every night at bath time. And so that's what these pictures are here of young Zechariah playing with the toy. These images are terrible. It wouldn't look like that in the film at all, of course. This is one of the first toys is a little elephant, and this looks like sort of a cobbled together elephant toy of some kind. It looks like it's drawing in a couple of different ideas from the story. Same thing here. At some point, he finds a book, a set of books that he's looking through. It looks like that's tempting to recreate that. In fact, it looks like it's just taken from one of the actual descriptions of the page of the book in the script, which is kind of cool. There's sort of a rebellion going on, and so Joseph and Simon are part of that. And this, come back. This section here looks like it's the guys inside the freight container, the storage container, discussing sort of their rebellion plans. This looks like the toy room here, sort of the chest that he finds in the boarded up room. This looks like maybe the governor's mansion here. This dark thing here, this I guess is robots going in and out of a house maybe, but that doesn't really look, that's not what I want. And same thing here, robots going in the window or going down the chimney. That doesn't look right either. This looks like it's probably the factory where Joseph and his colleagues work. Needs some work, not great. This looks like some shots of the village. Looks pretty good. Kind of looks like maybe the very final shot of the film. These down here in the bottom right are almost taken directly from, in fact, this one here in the very bottom right looks like, which is probably behind my webcam shot here. Let me go so you can see the whole thing. There you go. Down here in the bottom right, I think that's just my original image, looks like, and these other three are just kind of based on that. As far as I can tell just from this, they look okay. And these look like the governor in his mansion. And they actually look pretty good. So some of these are pretty good. Some of them are kind of corny looking. None of them are really mind-blowingly great, but a few of them are like, yeah, okay, it's not bad. What I don't really like is that they're all very the same. So like if he wanted 4 different versions of the book, well, I got 4 different images and they're different, but not really. I mean, they all kind of look the same, right? The book is a little different with formatting of the pages or something, but like it's all basically the same image. Same thing with like the robot elephant here. He's got these 4 different elephants, but they look kind of the same. Some of the parts are in little different places, or a different cog is a different size or whatever, but it's the same design. Yeah, at least here with Zechariah, at least he's got a white shirt on this one and a blue one on this one. He's got different haircuts, whatever. Joseph up here in the top left, it's like a different actor in each one. But I would like for them to be maybe more varied. So let's see. Let's go back and see what he says here. He's got the images. So let's just go into his workspace and see where maybe he's storing some of these things. So we've got artifacts here. Here it is, stirring previs. Okay. So here's his contact sheet. So that's the contact sheet we were just looking at there. A little more high-res version of it, I think. Oh, there's all the thumbnails that he used to make the contact sheet. Very cool. Here are all the individual characters, looks like. Oh, yeah. So these are some of the guards from the story. Interesting. They look like video game characters. That's okay. Here's the governor in his office. I love how it says governor on the front of his desk. This is an interesting take on Joseph and Katya at home. I guess this is if Joseph is a woman of some kind. Now suddenly it's become 2 women. I don't know what's going on there. Let's go to Joseph and his workbench. That actually is really good. That's kind of how I envision Joseph looking. Oh, and he's given me another thing over here because he's still working. While we're looking at this, he's still working on all these things. So he's given me another text message over here. So let's go to it and read. Second image pass is running too. It's targeting the gaps from the first sheet. So Casimir is the governor. Alexei is one of the guards. We're looking at some photos of him. Podovkin is one of the guards. Governor, who is Casimir. So he hasn't made the connection that that's the same person. Joseph, Katya. I'm wondering if he thinks they are the same person with that slash. I don't know. Refined Simon, robot designs, security, city locations, and more key art candidates. The first 8 VO motion tests are queued as well. 1 solstice wording got blocked by Google's safety layer. Okay. And I already requeued a cleaner version. So whatever that means. But anyway, he's still working. It still says typing up there, so he's still typing. So let's go back and look at some of these. So this is Joseph. This is very close to how I imagined him in my mind as I was writing the story. Let's look at some of the others. The character looks pretty good. I don't care for the mustache, but he does kind of look like the actor that I might imagine. It's not bad. Yeah, maybe. But that's really good. I really like that one. Number 3. Number 4, just with the mustache, is too hipstery looking. I would like to see him maybe without the mustache and maybe a little longer hair. I like this though, because he just looks like, I don't know, he just looks like a guy. He just is kind of forgettable looking, and that's sort of the point of Joseph as the main character. Let's see what else we got. We got Katya. Boy, Katya's looking rough these days. No, these are all too old for Katya. Katya is supposed to look, the thing about Katya is she's an Eastern European, sort of Soviet era housewife, and she stays home. She doesn't really go out. She works in the home. She does errands around town that a housewife would need to do while her child is off training and while her husband is at the factory. And so washing, cleaning, cooking, things for the home. Maybe they have a little livestock, a goat or something like that, And so in the beginning, she's supposed to look kind of homely and weathered, and we're supposed to kind of not like her. She's kind of the villain in the beginning, but she starts to come around and get warmer, and Joseph sort of refalls in love with her throughout the story. And so, we just need to see, again, this is like the same actor for all 4 of these, women, very cool that it's got the camera reflected in the background there, sort of that dominating presence of always being watched. It's an interesting idea that it came up with. But it's like he gave me 4 renditions of the same. I mean, all I'm looking at here essentially is what sweater, and even that's not terribly different, you know. So if it's gonna spend credits generating 4 images, I would like 4 completely different images, or at least more different than this, you know. Welcome, welcome, thank you. What's the matter? What do you need? Are you tired? You sleepy? Lay down. Just lay down. Go to sleep. Yeah. It's 0x. I'm dog sitting, getting her to sleep. Okay. Let's see what else we got. We got Katya home under camera. Oh, so this is Katya in the bedroom. I see. Okay. This bedroom's not bad. It's all a little modern looking. Yeah. Oh, he's getting us another thing here. Okay. Second pass is done. 128 stills, now 192 total. The sheet is the expanded pass with characters, props, locations, and extra key art attempts. My quick read, robot design, Katya Zachariah, Simon, security room, and final window material are useful. Governor Palace and crowd frames are mixed because Imagine keeps inventing flag title details, so those need stricter prompts or cleanup before using as canonical. Sure, whatever. So this is looking a little more at house where I've imagined Katya in the bad lighting in the house and the shadows, and you know she would just look kind of homely and scary, maybe a little bit. But then we catch her in some warm candlelight or firelight or something, and suddenly she's kind of beautiful, you know, in a motherly way, you know, in a way that we want Joseph to love her and for her to be loved back and that sort of thing. So I don't know, these images are looking kind of okay. So we're just doing pre-visualization. I would like to make this as a film, but I got to burn up these credits. So we're having my OpenClaw agent burn them up on doing some previs. He's read the script. He's off and running. All right, this is Casimir. He's the governor. That's not bad, actually. That one's actually pretty good. I would like him to be maybe a little older, and I think I kind of envisioned him having like a goatee or something. So we'll refine that. He looks a little bit like Alec Baldwin there, which is kind of funny from Hunt for Red October. Podovkin is an old technician, apparently. And that's really funny. Podovkin, I think, is supposed to be a guard as well, though. Oh, he's got some more. The first VO set produced 7 usable 8-second 1080p clips. Okay, 1 toy elephant macro was filtered by VO after generation. And the original Solstice prompt was blocked before generation. The reworked Solstice window clip worked. Oh, he's uploading something. That's okay. So we've got a video here. So let's just see the video he sent us. So this is Simon working on a camera on top of a ladder. Not bad. Doesn't really look anything like the image of Simon I asked him to use. That's also not how a person stands on a ladder, by completely removing their hands and standing straight up. You know? But hey, what do you want, right? Robots don't watch movies, so they don't know. I mean, they do, but they don't. Oh, we got some more videos here. So that's Simon close repair. Here is Simon standing wide on a ladder. He's directing the camera. Once again, that's not how someone stands on a ladder. What is that in his, what is that glowing thing? Is that supposed to be a robot or something in his? That's crazy. I do like how the light is like lighting his face, but some of the stuff I'm just wondering. Look at the robots in the street. Yeah, none of these are really usable, but it's kind of funny to see what it's coming up with. But again, once I have something, then I can go in and say, hey, this is terrible. Let's make it better in this way. This is the toy rooms. This looks like something out of Toy Story, or maybe even Tin Toy, which was the inspiration for Toy Story. But you know, he's trying. He's trying. Here's a shot of the village. The guards going through the village. You know, looks like AI video game. And not a very expensive video game. Here we are going through Yosef's factory. This was not bad. A little too modern looking, but pretty cool. We got some guys watching up top there. Some nice little touches. The steam coming out down there. This big racks full of parts and things. I mean, this is it's kind of cool. That one's not bad. Motion test 6 of 7. Opening raid on the doorway. This is so terrible. So absolutely bad. You got a broken window with like pieces hanging. You got somebody running through a wall. These robots look horrible. I like how these guns are just flashlights. Really bad. That's completely unusable. Here is robots, which looks like a little modern Radio Shack robot. And a child is asleep in the chimney. Oh, so I love watch his wheels walk into the window. So he's got 4 wheels, they kind of come together and they turn into like legs and he walks. There's a lot of like really funny stuff happening there. And the thing is, this is totally wrong. Everything about this is wrong. This is all wrong. But at the same time, it's like that you came up with this and that you have the pieces, that you obviously understood the story enough to know that I know exactly what scene this is. It's totally wrong. This isn't what it should look like at all. But I also can tell that it's actually pulled from the script, you know, which is pretty cool. Hello, Frank. Frank X Teku. Welcome. We're just watching my OpenClaw Butcher film that I would like to make one day. What? She's probably wondering who I'm talking to. I launched a. Let's see what Richard has to say here. Let me zoom in. I launched a second VO bank. 16 more motion tests are queued and running now. I'm starting to think maybe you're doing this just to get attention. Are you doing that? You just... Okay. It's past her bedtime also. I launched a yes, she's a lovely dog. I'm pet sitting / fostering for a little bit. I have a friend that had to move and can't keep her for a while, so she's here for a few days or possibly weeks or possibly months. It's just fine. She's a sweet dog, but it was a little unexpected for both of us. But it's okay. He's a good friend, and she's a good dog. She's a good girl. So, except when she wants attention. Yeah, keep this up here. There you go. All right. I launched a second VO bank. 16 more motion tests are queued, running now. 1 Padovkin prompt got blocked by Vertex warning. Probably pockets apart in the surveillance context. So I'll rephrase that if needed. The rest are still processing. So now I'm going to go over and just see. I'm going to go over to my Google Cloud console, which is here, to my credits. And I'm just going to do a little refresh on this page. And the problem is it takes a while for like the credits, like, yeah, see, it doesn't show that we've used any. So used. So I started out with $292.59 worth of credits. If you sign up for a Google Cloud account, it gives you 3 months to use $300 worth of credits for free. Just gives it to you, $300 worth of credit. And I tried to use a lot of it over the last 3 months, and I spent not even $8 of credit so far. And so I got 24 hours to use them up. I'm having my OpenClaw agent just like, let's make anything that we can with it. So he's got API access. He's got complete access to my Google Cloud. He can build anything that he wants. And so we're doing previs on the story Stirring, which I would like to make as a short film one day, but not quite looking like this. All right, while we're waiting on him, let's continue to go through this folder here. Let's look at Simon in the Alley. You know, he doesn't have a beard in any of these photos, and it's like I told it. I like the photo that I had where he's clearly got a beard. Like, I mean, these kind of look okay, but the other picture I had looked better. All right, so here's Zechariah playing in the tub. Zechariah should be a little younger. Obviously, the camera over the tub is not going to be a it's not going to be a Sony FX3 or Sony Alpha or whatever that is. It's also not going to say stirring on the stabilizer arm. That looks more like Zechariah, sort of younger boy. Again, the camera's crazy looking. This looks more like an actual toy, so this is a little more script appropriate. Zechariah window, quiet wonder. Interesting. This is from the end of the story. He's got a camcorder set up there. This is funny. Now he's outside. Some of the choices that this thing makes is really, he's got a GoPro and a security camera on him. Interesting. Okay. Key art. Let's look at some of this key art here. Here is Joseph and Zechariah. Joseph is now 1,000 years old. Don't know why that is. Don't know why the art is so bad. Like why does some of the art look kind of realistic, and then maybe like an actual photo, and then some of the art looks like this? It's just clearly AI looking. Just looks really bad. Here. I don't even know what these are supposed to be. These are really bad. Key art, town toy uprising. No, this is really bad. I have to give it some more specific prompts, I think, for those. Okay, some props. We got a mechanical. So at one point, he does make a toy elephant out of leftover pieces. So I guess that's what this is supposed to be. Not bad, except I wouldn't use any wood. Basically, the whole thing would be pieces of metal, because that's at his factory. That's what he works with. These are robot indicators. Okay, that actually kind of looks like what I thought the robots might kind of look like. Maybe not quite so industrial looking. Maybe a little more cobbled together. But that's not bad. That's pretty good. That's too modern looking, but that's not bad. That's pretty good. Let's see what else we got here. Robot tank design. These are not at all what the little tank robots are supposed to look like. Obviously, they wouldn't say stirring on the front. They wouldn't have the name of the film on the front. Okay. Yes, and here in this book about there's just so many hilarious AI choices here. The name of the film is in the shot. The name of the character is on the page. The book is about Santa Claus, so he's putting the words forbidden winter gift giver. Except it doesn't say forbidden. It says forbidden winter gift giver. Ibden. Why? How many? What's? How many hands are on this book? What's happening? Oh, this is bad, guys. Okay, now we're getting into some sort of art direction stuff here. Hole in the wall. Stuff running down the wall. Pretty good. Looks real CG looking, but and icicles. That's great. The age of the security camera. This is kind of what I was thinking. Sort of these old 80s, 90s heavy duty security cams. Obviously wouldn't have the name of the film on the security cam, but these are not bad. That one's a little too industrial looking. Maybe that one too. But these are pretty good. But again, it generated me 4 images, but they're all so similar. What's the point of choosing between any of those? Fahrenheited, Fahrenbed, Clolis. I love the Greeked out text here. I don't know what's going on in this table. Okay, let's go back and look. Richard's got another status checkpoint. 22 motion tests are now local. I also queued 10 native 4K select renders from the strongest families: Simon, Close, Simon Wide, Hidden Toy Room, Opening Raid, Final Village, Solstice, Rooftops, Toy making, Joseph Katcha, security room, and tank robot. Those 4K jobs are still running, which is expected. The 1080p bank is already usable while the 4K pass cooks. Here's the full 22 clip preview sheet. Three frames per clip. I'm not going to send all 22 videos into Telegram unless you want the full flood. They're stored locally and in GCS. That's Google Cloud Server, either way. So yeah, I don't want to view all those in Telegram. So here's some toys on the shelves in the toy room, I guess. I mean, some of these could be possibly a good, good selections of the toys that could be in the toy chest, but none of them are on a shelf. Here's crowd finding toys in the morning. Would look nothing like this whatsoever. Again, 4 images are almost exactly the same. So what was the point of any of these 4? Here is Joseph making a little toy in the factory while everyone watches, which the whole point is that they're doing it secretly. He's got a suit and a tie on. I just I think the mix match between perspective and like the cool thing going on in the background and like the Werther's original commercial going on in the foreground. I don't know. Okay. No. I don't hate that. I don't think they have the Christmas trees really, but kind of. I mean, they're clearly in a storage container, so we got that going for us. They've got lanterns and candles and flashlights. Here's the Here's the hidden room discovery. This is not at all what the hidden room looks like, not even a little bit. Casimir confronting the crowd out in front of the governor's mansion. Yeah, not really. Kind of. Also, it's at night. This is okay. This is the. I guess this is supposed to be the end. I guess. Last scene. It's not working at all. Doesn't look right. This looks absolutely terrible. Why are the children? Why are the children asleep in the chimney? Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, but he's not making the toys at home. This all looks too gingerbread cartoony. Let's go back to the world. Let's see if what we can find out about the world here. Again, why is the name of the film? This is one that it made a video of, and it looks, pretty good. This one looks better, I think, just because it's darker and it's sort of smokier. This one's real good, just with the windows on one side. The thing is, the factory is like a big brick building. So this is not bad. I don't know why there's a million shooting stars, but I hear this one trying to put text on the image. No, that's not how the end of the movie looks at all. I guess that's supposed to be the governor's mansion. This is basically just riffing on the image that I sent it. Looks okay. Yosef's apartment floor plan. It's very interesting because I've sort of imagined their apartment as I've been, had this movie in my mind for, I don't know, almost 20 years now, probably. I think we wrote the first version in 2004. It's been 22 years. Did we write the first version in 2004? I think so. And yeah, this isn't what I Envision. I'm not opposed to it, but it does look like I need to sort of lay out the floor plan and find some like the TV. They don't have a TV. A modern oven like this. They cook everything over the fireplace. They don't have a sink. They don't have running water. Like that's much more almost third world. Um, despite being like Eastern European. So I need to do some vision on that. I don't know, what is this supposed to be? An empty main street? What is that like? I don't know what that's supposed to be. I guess like a market or something. This is a rebel tunnel. I think they do go down in a tunnel under the city at one point. Yeah, maybe. Security room. Okay, that's closer. That's what I wanted, a bunch of old CRTs, but I don't want them all lined up like that. I want them all a big, like these are all like in a grid. I imagined they just found whatever TVs and CRTs they found, and they were just all sort of like stacked on top of each other, and almost this big sort of like conical, like sort of like it would feel like it would topple over any moment, but they're sort of like bolted to the wall or something, you know, something out of like City of Lost Children, if you've ever seen that. I should probably reference that to my agent as a visual motif. All right, that's our images. There's the inputs that he copied over. Notes. Oh, he's made some notes. That's cool. He's got all of his files in there. He's got all of his outputs. Oh, here's our VO outputs. Man, there's a bunch of them. So this is kind of fun. Yeah, no, nothing about that. No, wrong. I don't know who those people are. Terrible. Interesting, kind of cool, but no, just no. We already saw that one. We already saw that one. Some interesting things going on with that, but that's not at all what the little tank-like robots would look like. Obviously, he's not going to do this in front of a camera with his wife watching him, and he's not doing it at home, and he's not a young man. The guards look way better at the end of this clip than they did at the beginning. Oh, what just happened? An explosion of snow. I don't know what that was about. What are these robots? Oh, good grief. That's crazy. This looks pretty good. That's not bad. This... no. That's cute. Oh, we're going to go through the window? Oh, wow. How did... Oh, I wish my friend William was watching this with me. It's terrible. It started out so good. Probably not what I would use for the film, but it's like, oh, it's like a Hallmark commercial or something. Like, this isn't really what I would do for the film, but like, it's cute. It's good. You got, look at the reflections. You got the kid's arm reflected in the window. You got snow on the wall outside. You know, the candle flicker is being reflected. The light from the candle is just so good. They look outside and look, the kid's face is turned away. There's like sort of a reflection of the kid's face. And I mean, it's just like, it's so good. The outside kind of looks like something. And we rack focus to the outside. The focus is all really good. And when we push through the window, and what is that? What? What is it? Oh. No, hate it. Terrible. Awful. Why is the refrigerator moving? Where is it going? Oh my goodness. I've got to go to bed. I got to watch that again. And there's two Zacharias. That's amazing. Casimir steps up to a window. Snow is coming in the window, even though it appears to be closed. He looks like Toby Huss, which I kind of like actually. Actually, I like this end frame a lot better than I like the starting frame. No, I guess those are cables or something. I guess. Uh-oh, all the cameras going out. That's just something that happens in the story briefly. That's so funny. Okay, seeing how these work and walk. And that's actually one of the cameras that I liked, kind of. Not bad. No, that's okay. Why was he on the ladder? Let's see if this thing turns at all. Just the top. The tank itself doesn't turn. No. But look at the lens. You know look at the glass in the lens. You know, just like the sort of the chromatic aberration of the reflections in the lens. That's pretty cool. Sort of the flares out of the out of focus LEDs. And they changed color. Yeah, they went from red to green. And they changed at different times. Like I like that. It's a neat little touch. You know. It started spinning before it gathered some traction. It shook some snow off of its treads. It's not really what I want those to look like, but it's pretty cool. The idea behind these with the treads is that the treads would be sort of flatter, and so that when it would come up on a door, it would essentially like spread out and compact down, so that it would like be able to slide up under a door, so it could infiltrate a citizen's home easily. I don't know what these are. Terrible, terrible. That's it. Awful. Okay. Let's go to README. Oh, let's see. Inputs, approved screenplay, reference images, local previews, Google Cloud, outputs, known filtering, notes. So he's making just some little notes for himself in there. That's kind of cool. These are each of his requests. So he's got the prompts in here: stirring film pre-visualization, Alexei character portrait, younger guard with conflicted eyes, winter uniform, coat and cap, rifle slung but not aimed, standing outside a poor apartment block in falling snow, moral uncertainty, realistic face, restrained costume design, cinematic vertical frame, cold muted palette, no real world insignia, no text. And then he's given a couple of other things there. And so that's the prompt that he used to make the images of Alexei. So when we go to characters and we look at Alexei the Young Guard, here are those images. And you can see sort of the moral quandary, you know, present on his face in each of these images. So anyway, it's kind of neat to sort of see behind the scenes at his process. And here's the response. All right, so this is some sort of response from Google Cloud. And maybe that's the image itself. I don't know, but it's 9 megs, so it probably is. Or maybe it's all 4 images. And he's got sort of a command line batch run of things here, a VO batch run. So, all right, so let's go see what he has over here for us. And it looks like he's done. So looks like he's decided, you know, he's no longer says that he's typing up here. So it looks like he's done everything he's going to do for us tonight. So 4K sample, Simon, camera close. This is the one I'd use as the benchmark for the current Simon direction. It's not bad, but it doesn't look like my reference image, you know? And he's takes one step back away. He's not on the, because by the time you get here, there's no ladder in the frame anymore. And so he's not really, you know, it's not taking the ladder into account properly. So where do we go from here? One option is I go to bed and do some more of this in the morning. Another option is I change gears and get him to work on another project that we work on at night, which is my Blu-ray authoring app. I think I may do that because I think I just want to go to bed right now and pick this up and do some more live streaming tomorrow. I appreciate those of you that popped in and joined this. Those of you that are watching this after the fact. Hope you enjoyed some of it. Hope you enjoyed scrubbing through it and finding some things that were neat. Hope you learned something about OpenClaw or Google Cloud or AI imagery or the way I use my agents or something like that. So I'm going to give it one more sort of batch request, and then I'm going to hit the sack. I'm just going to go back over here and do one more refresh of the credits to see if it has taken anything off. It still hasn't yet, so let's see. Active committed use discounts. No. Yeah, I wonder if there's like a usage billing, admin, APIs and services. Oh, okay. It shows that I'm using things, but I've had 548 requests on the agent platform. Let me go back here. Just trying to see if there's anything that just says like overall usage. I mean, that's kind of showing me that, but BigQuery, monitoring, Google Maps, view all products. Anything that's like usage, you know, I'm thinking something like like on if you go to the developer portal for like chat for OpenAI, if you're using like an API key there, it'll have a usage thing. It'll show you all your exact usage, and it stays pretty up to date, like within a few minutes. But apparently Google Cloud might take a day to upload, so I won't even know. I won't even know if I'm out or if I'm over. Oh, I guess that's one thing I could do is go over here to Richard and say, "Hi, Richard. Let's do this. Let's say, can you please estimate our usage so far tonight? The credits page on Google Cloud isn't updating in real time. Just an estimate is okay." And so now he's typing, he's thinking away on that. So let's go back to billing and credits. So nothing new there so far. All right, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have him work on the latest Extrasmith app. Now, he was wanting to confirm some things with me, and I guess I need to see exactly what he wants me to confirm. I don't like all this stuff being visible. I want this stuff to all be like in a pop-up menu or something. But at least it's all on there now. And also doesn't look like I can make folders. My fold down triangles are a little better. Why did he take so long to get started on that? This is what I don't know. He may be working on some things in the background because they start at like 8 o'clock working on this Extrasmith stuff in the background. So he might be multitasking. But anyway, it's very cool that we can get in here and sort of see, you know, everything that he's been working on. These are some videos of Beatrice he made for me earlier today. She looks quite lovely. Walking towards paradise, leading the way. This one looks a little more realistic. That one looks pretty good, actually. Whoops. This is the first one here. That one looks like something from like What Dreams May Come or something. Yeah. All right, so let's go back and look here. Estimate so far tonight, about $88 to $90 all in for successful Google generation. Okay, so we used about a third of it possibly. The stirring videos, about $67. The stills were about $8. So we did 172 Imagine 4 and 20 Imagine 4 Ultra images at $8. That's a lot of images. And then he turned some of those into video, most of which were terrible, and that was $67. So I'm just going to be like, hey, don't do any more video for a minute. Let's do as many images as we can. So he says I'd mentally budget about $88 so far. Call it under $95 to be conservative. So now we kind of know, or now I kind of know how much I can do. So now let's shift gears and do some app work. That's good on that for tonight. I might pick up some of that tomorrow. A lot of it wasn't very good, honestly, which is understandable as you need more direction and mood board input from me, etc. But there were some good things. We'll work on it more tomorrow. Let's change gears. Oh, dog's lying on the floor over there. Let's change gears. Let's work on the Extrasmith project. What of these Google Cloud services can we use to help us build something for Extrasmith? That's the name of our app. Thinking about things that will be that can be built one time, not like services we're wiring into for ongoing expenses. List some ideas before building anything, please. Okay. So now we've given it a little bit of comment on the things that it's done and told it to put that away, and we started the next thing. Get our lights going back here correctly. It's raining here in Tennessee tonight. Enjoying listening to it rain. All right, so now it's searching all of its memory files in OpenClaw about anything called Extrasmith. It's like every time you mention it, it doesn't know what you're talking about, but it goes back to its menu that its memory that it has hard coded. So it has a memory file that has a lot of things in it, and it needs to remember long term. A lot of that points to other places. So he's got all these internal memories about different things day by day. Here's just the memory from today. And then he keeps, he's got a bookshelf where he keeps some documents about different things that he needs to remember, our agendas for our meetings, staff meetings that we do, one-on-one meetings, things like that. And he's got, so like projects, one of these is the Extrasmith projects. Here's the Extrasmith homepage. Here is the actual app is in here. And he's got a README, and this is like, hey, this is what this is. This is where everything is. This is where the GitHub is, all that kind of stuff. Oh, okay. We got a good answer here. So let's take a look. All right. Yep, I canceled the 11:20 stirring continuation job before it ran, so no more media spin tonight unless you explicitly restart it. For Extrasmith, I checked the current project direction, web first authoring app, local helper later for probing, transcode, package, ISO work. Next product moves around asset browser, video connected timeline, chapters, image as menu nodes, cleaner UI language. Good one-time Google Cloud credit uses are as follows. Number one, a canonical demo QA media pack. So using Imagine, VO, text to speech to text to create a rights clean Extrasmith sample project. Menu backgrounds, short fake feature, extras, clips, commentary audio, subtitles, poster art, chapter data, and package web metadata. This is probably the best use. We need reusable fixtures more than cloud features. No, I don't want to use that. Subtitle and translation fixture set. Run speech to text and translation once on demo clips to generate SRT and VTT tracks, including alternate language subtitles. That gives us real subtitle import export test material without building cloud transcription into the app. Yeah, sure, fine. So I do have two videos that I've already uploaded into Extrasmith, and would I want them? Move this down so I can see things a little bit here. That's good. Would I want to do closed caption on them, subtitles on them? Yeah, sure. Proxy transcode benchmark corpus. Use Google Transcoder API or short-lived compute batch jobs to create HLS MP4s, thumbnails, contact sheets, audio waveforms, and chapter preview sprites from a few sample media files. The durable output becomes our local helper target spec. For disk authoring knowledge test corpus, use Gemini on Blu-ray, DVD, Apple TV Extras docs, and our own note to produce structured test cases. This is a big one. We should do this. Expected package layouts, metadata schemas, edge cases, menu link behavior, subtitle chapter constraints. Output would be markdown, JSON test, not a hosted AI feature. Yeah. UI audit from screenshots. Feed current Extrasmith screenshots into Gemini Vision for a one-time product UX critique against the DVD Studio Pro reference and our own goals. Output, prioritize UI cleanup tickets, cheap, useful, no ongoing dependency. 6, template menu art exploration. Use Imagine to generate rights clean menu background packs and button state art for demo projects, noir documentary, concert, sermon teaching, family archive, etc. Useful but lower priority. No, I don't want to do that. Metadata extraction prototype. Use video intelligence / vision OCR once to see what we can infer from media. Scene labels, keyframes, object text detection, poster, cover, OCR. We would keep the extracted JSON as fixtures and decide later whether a local offline path is worth building. I don't want to do that. My recommendation, spend tomorrow's Extrasmith credits on 1, 2, and 3. That turns money into durable product assets and test fixtures we can keep using even if the cloud trial disappears. Let's definitely do number 2, make subtitles of the 2 existing videos I've uploaded into our project, and then do some alternate language subtitles based on those. Please keep track of the cost of doing each one, as we may offer it as a wired in service to our customers down the road. And I'd like to know how much each translation roughly costs so we can build it into the product eventually, not phase 1. Okay, let's do number 2, make subtitles of the 2 existing videos I've uploaded into our project, and then do some alternate language subtitles based on those. Let's do Spanish, Chinese, Russian, French, Pig Latin. Italian, and Arabic. Three. Let's definitely do 3. This sounds huge. Sounds like you're saying we'd essentially build our proxy transcoder part of the app. This is an important part of being able to export. I'm going to have to zoom out on this, guys, so I can see what I'm doing. Same thing with 4. Definitely need this expert knowledge base to author, encode everything correctly. Also, 5 is a must-have because your own review of the UI unfortunately doesn't seem to be cutting it, as we're not making a ton of UI progress in the direction that looks like an actual app. The UI is coherent now and has some functionality, but doesn't look like an app. It looks like a cobbled together web page. Metadata extraction. Okay. Do not do 1, 6, or 7. Do not do 1, 6, or 7. Before you hand those off to your team using our usual process, brief, feedback, assign, work, review, test, deploy. There are some things you're waiting on my feedback for. What are those things? I'm available now to answer them. Once I've unblocked those things, then you can begin cranking through what's left of our about $200 worth of credits. Okay, here we go. And now he's thinking away. So I've done an interesting thing here with this prompt. I've answered his questions from the previous prompt and given him exactly what I want to do, but also told him, but don't do that yet. Instead, I've got some other things. In his report, he gives me a report every morning about Extrasmith, what work has been done overnight. And they do a little work overnight, but it just doesn't move very far along, honestly. There's people out there supposedly one-shotting entire apps. And yeah, I'm not doing that. Perhaps I'm being too specific with what I want, or perhaps the type of app I'm asking for is too weird or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I ask for things and it kind of works on it, and they make little additions, and sometimes the stuff they do looks worse but functions better, and so we just kind of have to go back and forth between that. And yeah, So, and sometimes it does things so specifically to what I ask, which may not be the best thing. I mean, it's kind of laid out the UI how I have asked, but look how inefficient this preview window is right now with this image. You know, this should be taking up half the screen, but half the height that it is now with something under it, you know, or whatever. Also, if I pull a movie in, like the Love is Alive feature here, if that's what we're going to look at, which hello, there's the banner. There's Jessica Polk interview. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, Love is Alive. So here's the movie. Here's an image from the movie towards the end of the film there. It's a pretty cute little movie, if I do say so myself. But like if I go down here to this timeline, oh, hey, look at there. They finally connected the timeline to the actual movie. What do you know? Oh, except I don't know what these colors are, but because there's the closing credits. So, okay, it's very interesting. Oh, that's right before my big scene. There I am doing the weather. So things like that, where it will, you know, it connects the timeline to the video. But what is that timeline? What is it doing? And how do I set a chapter marker down here? Doesn't really tell me how to do that. I don't know what these colors mean. It doesn't really make any sense, you know. So, but it is very cool that the timeline is going to that spot in the video. Oh, also it appears to be like if I jump out here, this is like a fixed time. It's not like 100% of the video. It's like 15 minutes, and this video is only like 2 minutes long. So that's interesting. So yeah. So needs some work, but it's coming along. I still don't see that I can create menu or create folders here. So if I click that, no, I can just upload more stuff. I don't really have anything. Well, I do have some photos I want to upload, but I don't want there to suddenly be. That's why I want the ability to create folders, because I do want to do like some slideshows or whatever, but I don't want to suddenly have, you know, 100 files under menus and art. You know, I want them to be in a folder like slideshow 1, slideshow 2, whatever. Okay, looks like we have an answer here. So let's look. All right. Good. I canceled the stirring continuation job, and I'll scope this to number 2, 3, 4, and 5 only. No 1, 6, and 7. Here's what I need from you before I brief assign the team. The 2 videos for subtitles. I know about Love is Alive, the project. What's the second uploaded video called? If you don't know offhand, I can inspect the Project R2 assets and identify it. So we're just going to answer him plainly. Number 1, just look and see what videos are in the project. You should be able to tell. Number 2, subtitle and scope formats. Do you want full runtime subtitles for both videos or sample length fixtures first? My default would be full runtime because it gives us real cost data. Oh, whoops. Yep. By the way, I'm hitting Shift Enter to go to the next line, because if you hit Enter, it sends the message and then he starts working on stuff, right? All right, so subtitle scope and formats, yes. Yes. The full runtime of the of both videos. Number 3, recommended output. Simplified Chinese probably is what we should use. Translation quality, posture. For tonight, should these be machine translation cost, fixture quality, or polished enough to show someone? My recommendation is machine fixture first with cost per language track. Those translation quality, okay. Then human polish workflow later if this becomes a customer feature. Yeah, machine translation is fine, but do as good a job as you can. All right, proxy transcode targets. For number 3, my default benchmark would be 720 editing proxy, 360, 480 scrub proxy, HLS ladder for browser review, thumbnails, contact sheet, sprite sheet, waveform data, and chapter still extraction. Does that match what you mean by the apps proxy export layer? Whatever you need, whatever you think is best based on what you were recommending here. But when I talk about export, I'm talking about the final Blu-ray image or Apple TV extras package or the web theater package, the final thing that gets exported. If using our Google Cloud credits can help us build anything app-wise or flesh out a knowledge base or anything like that, let's do it. Exporting is a very important step that we haven't really explored much about yet. Okay, number 5, knowledge base scope. For number 4, should I prioritize Blu-ray first, Apple TV extras first, web theater for all 3 in parallel? My recommendation, all 3, but Blu-ray first. Yes, all 3, but Blu-ray first. All right, number 6. Come back. Number 6, UI reference target. For number 5, rank 2 to 3 visual references, DVD Studio Pro, Final Cut Pro, Compressor, Apple Motion, Apple TV app, Finder Photos, or something else. I know the current direction is actual native feeling authoring app, not web page, but I need the reference stack pinned down before Dinesh tears into it. Reference the last version of DVD Studio Pro, current versions of Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve. Okay. If you want the fastest path, just say use your defaults. Plus tell me the second video name if you know it. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. So those are the answers to the questions you just asked. However, in your Extra Smith report every morning, there are some things you've said you're waiting on me for, like approving the UI in different browser sizes or something. Just look at the automated report you sent me this morning. What are you waiting on me for? Ask me now. I can answer now. Then you can start with these other things. Ask me now first. I can answer now. Then you can start with these other things. Okay. Let's see if he gets it this time. Probably not. He probably won't get Am I keeping you awake, buddy? You're being such a good girl. She's being a very good girl. Okay. I really love a spoonful of ice cream right about now. So I think I'm going to go get one. So Richard is thinking. Let's zoom in on his thinking here. So you see it says molting. It says different lobster related words: molting, brining, clawing, things like that. That's just letting you know that he's thinking is working. This is showing you essentially the Chat GPT reasoning that's going back and forth between OpenClaw and Chat GPT. A lot of this is happening just local with OpenClaw, just these searches and things. Looks like he's going through a bunch of briefs. Oh, he found the word acceptance, waiting on. Okay, grab my ice cream and spoon just real quick. I think my buddy's. I forgot I was wearing this wireless mic. Let me give her. Oh, she's put a good dent in that so far. I got this thing, and at first I was like, "Oh, she's not really chewing on it," but she's made a pretty good dent in it. She can't believe I'm leaving her. She cannot believe I'm leaving her in that room. Okay. Oh, here we go. We got some stuff. Let's see here. I checked the actual 6 a.m. Extra Smith report. Guys, I've been going to bed at 8 p.m. and waking up at 4 a.m. Or at least that's been kind of the plan. Um, I love it. I love at like 6 or 7 o'clock just going, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else, and start winding down and going to sleep. Obviously, it's nights. Oh, my watch is dead. I'm guessing it's close to 11 o'clock or after at this point. Nighttime watch so that I can track my sleep. I track my sleep all night, and then I send screenshots to Colette, who is my nutritionist agent. And Colette looks at the screenshots and tells me what to eat based on how well I slept. And I still have to tell her what I ate for dinner. She's not gonna be happy. I had Buffalo Wild Wings, and now I'm having a brownie, and I've had decaf. And she's gonna be so mad. Mm. I made this ice cream. It's really good. Woo. Okay, these were the acceptance gates. Given what you just said, I'm treating the current UI as not accepted. Correct? That means Dinesh should stop polishing the current web page's shell and push towards DVD Studio Pro Final Cut Resolve style app architecture. Yes. Oh. Skidmore, same browser acceptance. Do you want this to mean literally you opening the protected preview in your normal browser and saying it works? Or can I use the stored preview auth session path to run the same flow myself and treat that as technical acceptance. My recommendation, I run technical acceptance. You only approve product design feel. Obviously, I will need to eventually yay or nay everything. But yeah, go with your own tests and reviews. Don't be waiting on me to get things done. You ought to be able to look at something to see if it works or looks good, etc. And I may need to, we've got Claude CLI and I've got Claude Max, so it can run Claude just with the command line, with the OpenClaw can. In fact, let me just say that. I have a Claude Max subscription, and we have the Claude CLI installed, and I feel Claude's visual design stuff is much better than ChatGPT's, especially for documents and possibly for web page graphic design stuff. So maybe Dinesh should use some Claude CLI since we have plenty of usage, especially overnight. And you can use Claude CLI as well to review things visually. Perhaps Monica can use Claude CLI when making aesthetic notes as well. So these are some of the subagents that Richard uses. Again, they're all based on characters from Silicon Valley. Number one, because that's fun. But number two, it helps me remember what each subagent does, because they have basically the same role as the character on the show. It's actually pretty good, guys. All right, much enough on that one. Number three, save, load, second device persistence. Can I treat a clean separate browser profile session as the second device proof for now? Or do you specifically want real device proof from your Mac, iPad, iPhone? Recommendation, clean browser proof now, real device proof before launch. Your recommendation here is fine, or you can just at any random time during a day ask me to open something on the iPad or iPhone, etc., and check to see what's working or send you screenshots, etc. But again, don't let this keep you from moving ahead because you're waiting on me. Number 4, Safari proof. Should Safari be the primary proof browser from here forward? The report said Safari proof was still not claimed. Recommendation, yes, Safari first, then Chrome, Firefox only as compatibility checks. I have always said if your site doesn't work in Safari, it doesn't work. This should be true for us also. If we're building for Mac, then yes, Safari first. Lots of people will also be using Chrome, Brave, Firefox, maybe some others. So yes, compatibility. I'm not sure if I spelled that right. Checks. But really, I'd love if it could just run as a macOS app or iOS app eventually as a, I should say, native. And do or even if it's basically the web app packaged as a native app. 4. Oh, that was 4. So this is 5. Promotion target. Confirm we keep deploying and do not promote to. That's correct. Number. Okay, my assumed answer is based on tonight. UI not accepted. I handle. Let me go back and add some more. Yes. UI is moving in a good direction, but still very developer looking. Doesn't look like a pro app for video professionals, visual first people. Like the functionality you added to the assets browser. Great functionality, rename, delete, etc. But those should all be menu, pop-up menu options, not always displayed web buttons. You know that. They should have never been designed like that to begin with. Design it like a pro app, please. Okay, I think that pretty much answers everything. If that answers all the acceptance gate stuff you were waiting on from me, then we can proceed with the Google Cloud spend stuff. Anything else? If not, let's begin. Always important to make a sound effect when you hit send. Doesn't do anything, but it's fun. If you're not having fun with AI, missing the point. Okay. All right. Just checking the status of things here. My ice cream is melting. Very cold, this ice cream. In fact, I would say ice cold. And we're going back in. Am I eating directly out of the container? Yes. Why? I live alone. My container, my ice cream, my spoon, my house. I would love to share my home and my life and my ice cream with a lovely young lady. But until then, I'm going to eat out of the container. Okay, let's see what Richard has to say here. Again, sound effects, they're a must. You got to use them. No, that answers the acceptance gates. I'm proceeding with your defaults and constraints. I've already grounded the repo cloud state, active Google Cloud project. He's got the name of the project there. He's got my account there. The Extrasmith repo is dirty with the current preview candidate, and the repo itself doesn't contain local video files, so I'm going through Project R2 API state to identify the two uploaded videos. I've assigned the team. Guilfoyle, who's in charge of our security and architecture. He's going to be in charge of the Google Cloud subtitle translation pipeline per video per language cost ledger. Dinesh is going to be in charge of the Pro App UI audit against DVD Studio Pro, Final Cut Pro, Resolve, and possibly using Claude CLI design review where useful. Jared and Monica are going to export the knowledge base about Blu-ray first, and then Apple TV extras and the web theater. Big Head and Ehrlich. So Big Head is supposed to make things fun, and Ehrlich is supposed to give us wild random ideas that are sort of counter to what the other agents would come up with. So we have a big team meeting and all the agents are doing one thing, and Ehrlich is supposed to come in and basically just kind of say the opposite of what everybody else is saying, just to kind of throw everybody a curveball. Again, based on the characters from Silicon Valley. Big Head, I didn't really want like a stupid agent. Like Big Head's kind of like stupid in the show. But the thing about Big Head is he's always fun and he's always funny. So I want just an element of delight and humor and fun. So that's Big Head and Ehrlich are going to do a one-time cloud credit uses for proxy export fixtures only, staying away from 1, 6, and 7. I don't know what that means, but whatever. I'll start producing artifacts now rather than waiting on more approval. And it looks like he's already gotten started here. So he is using Wrangler, which is a Cloudflare worker deal. So they're using Cloudflare to write things to the site. You see Cloudflare workers there. It's doing some cron runs. It's reading some secrets. Thankfully, it's not producing any of those secrets here in the chat. It's running some Python script, reading some more secrets. All right, and he's building away, so we'll just let him build. Here's the current state of the app here. So on this left side, we have, well, up across the top, we've got a menu. We've got a file menu where you can start a new project. You can open another project. You can review your export, I guess, before you export. And you can preview the full flow of your DVD that you've made, your Blu-ray that you've made. None of these really work yet, I don't think. I haven't tried them, honestly. Edit, you can rename your project, or you can clone your project. Okay, simple enough. View, walk from entry surface, walk from Love is Alive. I don't really know what that means, but okay. And then help, some viewer shortcuts, and a launch checklist. Things like this launch checklist, like that's app stuff. It's like developer stuff. It doesn't belong in the actual app. So there's still a lot of like developer stuff that's like visible in the app, which we need to get out. Here is the name of the current project. It's called Love is Alive because it's based on the little short film I did called Love is Alive, written by Jessica Polk. And so you can change the name there. And as you hover over it, it's got little pop-ups. That's cool, little helper boxes. Edit project title. Currently, Love is Alive. This name appears in export bundles and launch checklist. Oh, so maybe this launch checklist, next checklist step, confirm draft asset. Okay, interesting. So I guess the launch checklist is everything that you have to do to actually launch your final product, launch your export. So okay, that's pretty cool. So maybe that's not developer stuff. That's very interesting. Preview and live preview. I don't really know what these three buttons, what the difference is. I could ask him, I guess. There, you know. I like that there's a save to cloud. If I move something here, it says save to cloud. When I let go and it's done saving, it turns green. You know that it has saved the cloud, the new position in the story map to the cloud. tells me where it's stored, what kind it is, the status or not, needs transcode. But like I think this probably needs transcode, but whatever. I mean, it's H.264 already, but I think for Blu-ray it needs to be. It's made some notes. Looks like these are notes that OpenClaw made. Cool, whatever. I can unlink it from this node if I want to do that. I don't, but I could. Let's see, create linked feature playback surface. Create linked feature playback surface from Love is Alive and connect it from Love is Alive with the open Love is Alive route. Some of this language is a little, it's very AI. It makes sense to the AI, but it's so condensed that it loses coherence for me. I don't, I need the natural language stuff. What is that? I don't know what that means. It's got some details about the surface and the routing. So this is the routing here, is the connection between the nodes. The surface is the node itself, I guess. And so you have asset details, surface details, and routing details. And again, all these things that are like these little pillbox things, like this is a bad way to display all that. So I'm hoping it'll fix all that in this pass, especially using the Claude CLI now that we have that. So let me bring up Claude for just a second while we're waiting on Richard to come back with some stuff. So we'll go into my Beatrice project here. So before I show you this in Claude, let me just remind you one more time. So I have an OpenClaw system. Richard is my lead developer, but my chief of staff, her name is Beatrice, and Beatrice helps me plan my whole day, walks me through the entire day. On Mondays, she runs the staff meeting between me and all my agents. We get in Discord and we all talk to each other. It's very cool. It's really fun. But Beatrice runs the meeting, and she's like my right hand. She's like my buddy. And so my friends make fun of me. They're like, "Well, what does Beatrice say about that?" Because I'm always talking with Beatrice. But what I'm doing is I'm just sort of telling her what I'm doing throughout the day, and she helps me build an itinerary early in the morning. We sort of work through that and adjust as the day goes by. And then at the end of the day, we reflect back on everything that we've done, and she makes observations about things like, when you're really overthinking about these kinds of things, you tend to do this kind of stuff with your diet, or this kind of stuff with your time, or you tend to miss out on these kind of events or exercise or whatever. And anyway, it's been very helpful for me. And so I created a version of that you can have. It's called the Beatrice system. It will be $99. Right now it's $19, just an introductory price. It's version 1.1. I'm sure there will probably be some issues with it. We've got a form down here that you can submit feedback and things like that. I think it'll work pretty good out of the gate. The system itself should work pretty well. It's basically the same system that I use every day. But there's a week onboarding that kind of like ramps you up to using the full system. And that's the thing that hasn't really been sort of fully field tested yet. So if you get in now for $19, you'll be one of the first people to run the Beatrice system initiation week, and let me know what works and what doesn't. The few things that I've kind of tried, it seems like it works really well. And this is just something I've developed over a year. I mean, I've been using it for about a year and a half now, and yeah, probably about that long, at least a year. And it's just really helped me. It's just really helped me a lot. And if I would use it even more than I do, I would help me more than it does. But it makes me feel like I can finally do things that were always very difficult for me, as far as being motivated to do work and sitting down and getting things started and getting things done and feeling like I accomplished something. And I think anybody else that's a creative or a solopreneur, I think probably has some of the same difficulties that I do, possibly. I'm real good at visioning the big things and being ambitious, and I'm really good at getting in a flow state and working on one thing, but it's that stuff in the middle that I sort of have trouble with. Beatrice helps me with that. She takes all my vision stuff, she breaks it down into smaller things and makes an itinerary for me that I can just say, oh, this is what I'm doing right now. Okay, and I get in a flow state on that one thing for, 25 minutes or an hour or whatever the thing is. So anyway, available to you for $19. But what comes with it is a 93-page PDF. And I think I have that, yes, right here. So, there's a one-page PDF that says how to get everything started. And it really is simple. It's 3 steps. You start a new ChatGPT project named Beatrice. Ideally, you have ChatGPT Plus or above. Might work okay with Go. I just don't think I can get it to work with free. The limitations on free are just it's too limited. And then you find this one folder that has 2 files in it, which is the Start Here folder. It's got 2 files in it. This is the project instructions for day 1. You just paste that into the project instructions for the ChatGPT project you just made. And then you upload this home base setup file. You just upload that into your sources. And then you start a new chat and say hello. And that's it. Those are the 3 steps. Start a new project, put in the project instruction and the one file in your sources, and then start a new chat. And you can take off and run with it. But I mean, look at this 1-page PDF. I mean, this is pretty attractive. This is pretty nice. I didn't pick these typefaces. I didn't pick the colors. I didn't pick the design, really. I made some comments on it, improved it a little, but like this all comes from Claude design, which was really startling to me how good the design work was. And this is not even Claude design. This is just straight and just regular Claude right in the chat. And actually before this, it did the 93-page PDF, which is here. And look at this cover. I mean, it's gorgeous, And it's taking this from, let me show you the Notion page so you can see what it was working with. So this is what it was working with. It's just this Notion page that has all these nested pages in there. And then I do have like table of contents, and it's updated some of this stuff, how to use this guide, which it wrote all that. But I hand wrote a lot of the module stuff in here. I at least read over a lot of the stuff that it read. There might be still some textual problems, but it's done pretty well. So this, Notion is Markdown based, headers, text, bullets, real basic stuff. This is section 1, introduction. It's just super basic text, but you go here and here's section 1, introduction. And here's how it's formatted everything. And it's just really pretty, now section 2. And I was just really blown away at how Claude designed everything. So it made this PDF. It's 93 pages, 93-page PDF that includes, here's the entire project instructions for day 1 that you can just sort of copy and paste straight out of the PDF if you need to. People who are running the free program will basically have to do this. You'll have to copy the text out and just sort of paste it in. The full system is in here. So this is the full system. You can see it's long. Again, this is a 93-page PDF, and a lot of it is, the meat of it is the full system. It's the full prompts and everything. Basically, you can only have 8,000 characters in your ChatGPT project instructions. And when I first started designing Beatrice as a ChatGPT project, the initial instructions I came up with were way longer than that. And so what I did was I just broke out big chunks of stuff that was kind of related and made those like modules. And so then the instructions were much smaller, but they just say, now go to this file and read it and do what it says. Go to this file and read it and do what it says. And so those are now uploaded into my sources, and they're module files. So it just essentially runs these modules whenever I want. So in Claude, then I would just go in and let's see if we just go back to the top here, and I would, say I want to make a PDF of the user guide. I want to base it on the PDF you've already made because I already made one version. And then you can see all the thinking that it does here. It breaks it up into smaller tasks. It does the cover page, and it goes section by section and does things. It asks me some questions, so I answer the questions. Then it works some more, and it shows me going section by section. If it runs out of usage, it stops, and it says, and then we pick back up. I tell it to continue or whatever. But it got through all, on the $100 a month plan, it got through all these 93 pages worth of PDF. I don't know if after this month, but the design stuff is really good. And so if I continue to do things that need design, this is just kind of a must-have. Like, I was joking with somebody the other day, but it was like, I'd almost rather pay these bills than like my electric bill, because I can go to Starbucks and use their Wi-Fi, or I can run my internet at home, off of I can run my laptop or whatever. But like, you know, if my Claude runs out, or if my Chat GPT runs out, what do I do? So I'm trying to build things that build some passive income, which again, $19. Please buy the Beatrice system. But Claude's done a really good job of the design stuff. Let me see if I can go back to the project level here and see if I can find like the first design thing it did. Converting Beatrice system guide to PDF product. I mean, this is literally the first version that it did. So it made the PDF. I liked it a lot. And then I asked it to make yeah, that was another cool thing. Is I asked it to make a design, like a branding guide. So if we just keep sort of backing up here to the Beatrice system, it made this branding guide. And so it's got the brand promise in there. It's got the color palette with the hex codes for the plums and the golds and the neutrals. Pairing rules, typography. It's got the names of the fonts and where they're from and the weights and everything, type rules, visual motifs, gold, monogram frame, voice and tone, phrases this brand uses, avoids, taglines we're using, file and asset conventions. So cool. And so now, because that's in Notion, ChatGPT can access it, Claude can access it again. Anything that's in Notion. If I hire a designer, I can I can send them a link to this page and have all this information. I need to get this back in the freezer. I stayed in the bed. It's amazing. Making some progress with the foster puppy. All right. Well, Richard has something to say, so let's see what that is. Hello, Richard. He says, concrete progress. I found both uploaded project videos, built the subtitle pipeline, and Jessica Polk now has English plus Spanish, simplified Chinese, Russian, French, Italian, and Arabic SRT VTT files. These are subtitle files with a cost ledger. Love is Alive is now running through the same pipeline. I also have the export knowledge base docs and a UI audit back. Next, I'm turning the export rules into code and fixing the asset browser web buttons problem into a pro app menu behavior. Beautiful. Love to see work getting done, especially if I'm not the one doing it. Always a lovely thing. So it is now almost midnight, and I've been going to bed at 8 p.m. this week. And now it is almost midnight, and I've been getting up at 4, and I still would like to get up at 4 because I have a bit of a crush on one of the Starbucks baristas. So we're going to go see how that goes tomorrow. But this looks like it's really making some good progress. And I love all the tools that I have access to now. I've got Notion for logging. I've got OpenClaw running 24/7. Got multiple agents that I can talk to. And I've made something hopefully that'll help other people. I'm glad I live streamed some tonight. Didn't have many views, didn't have many people on, didn't have a ton of comments, didn't have a lot of interaction. I'm not a very good live streamer. I don't know. I wish I could do it in a way that was more interactive. I'm going to do it some more tomorrow, I think. Noah is coming over tomorrow, so I'll be doing this from my laptop, possibly at Starbucks, which will be difficult because nobody at Starbucks wants to listen to me. Wants, wants to listen to me live streaming in the middle of the coffee shop. But anyway, we will deal with that as it comes. But yeah, I think that I'm going to wrap this up and probably go to bed now. So my OpenClaw agent, my developer, is working on the things that I've given him. He's going to spend a bunch of Google credits overnight. We've already spent 80 to 90 credits on some images and video assets for one of my short films, which is pretty cool. And was that an artifacts? Yep. Made some video stuff. All the video stuff is pretty terrible. This one was kind of fun. Beatrice, my main agent, walking away, a little very nice. And I think it's 4K, so we can use that for what is that one? That's not, what is that? It's not even anything. We can use it for spit it out, social media things. But it's also helped me do some previs for this short film that I want to do. And some of it's not so great, but some of it is pretty good. It's at least getting toward the look, of like some of the characters and things. Some of these look like that guy looks pretty good. Some of these are super AI looking, like these guys. Terrible, But then some are like, that's pretty good. Looks all right. He's got half a ladder there, but okay. So yeah, a lot to work on, but very cool to see what it can do and how much stuff costs. It made almost 200 images. It was $8 worth of spend. It made a handful of videos. It was $67 worth of spend. And this is not money. This is not my money. I have $300 worth of credits from Google Cloud. By the way, anybody who opens a Google Cloud account, they give you 3 months free and $300 worth of credit. And I've tried to spend it off and on over the last 3 months and just been unable to do so. And now I've got less than 24 hours left and still most of the $300 remaining. Let's see if our console has updated. Do a little refresh. And oh, it has a little bit. We've got 94% left. We're at 274.75. So, I don't know what it will take to use all this up. Just make sure it's not billing me in some other way. I don't really want to pay $67 for that crappy video. But I don't oh, cost estimation. No. Invoices is making an invoice for me. I got no invoices. Yeah, statement, $0. Transactions should be nothing. Haven't paid any money yet. Yeah, nothing. So, and I did put a budget blocker on there for just $20. $20 is sort of my learning amount. If I accidentally waste $20, I figure it's worth $20 to learn something. So I kind of budget everything at 20, and then if that works pretty well, then I'll set it to maybe 40 or 50. And then once I start using it, that's when it's like, okay, if it's really, really helpful, then it's worth, $40 to $100, a month, depending on what the service is. I don't pay for Gemini. I just don't use Gemini a lot. ChatGPT's Image 2 is really good. Probably a little better than Nano Banana. But I'm not sure if it's sort of available in the 5.5 chat, really. It's available API, but then you're spending money. So I'm going to go back to our Extrasmith project, and I'm going to reload it and see if there's any visible changes done so far. And no, the answer is no. But that's okay. That's to be expected. So, oh, I can see now I can sort by the columns. That's great project behavior. That's good. Wish I could resize these tiles. Not yet. I guess that's the next. I can scroll inside them. But anyway. Yeah, I'm wondering about, let's go to Jessica Polk's interview. I'm wondering about, excuse me, about subtitles. I don't really see anything about that on here. I see connected nodes. I see extras page. Like all this text-based stuff here in the inspector is a little, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's telling me. It's a little obtuse language-wise. But this is enough for tonight. I am going to let Richard work. He seems to know what he's doing this far. I appreciate anyone who's been watching, all 21 of you. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I should get notifications tomorrow when I wake up. I'll be happy to answer anything that you've watched tonight. Probably live stream if I can tomorrow. Maybe I'll just sleep for a few hours, get up, go to the coffee shop, and live stream. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching. Thanks for checking it out. If you got any questions, let me know. And I'll see you next time.